What's going on, everyone? How you doing tonight? I'm, as always, your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, Lucas, and if you are joining me this evening, well, you're the first to experience what is hopefully going to be a year-long weekly stream where we hang out and build this mega dungeon. For those of you that don't know, Dungeon 23 was a hashtag started just at the end of last year, where a game designer who worked on the mothership system put out a tweet that said Mega Dungeon 2023, 12 floors, 365 rooms, one room every day, with the purpose of designing a mega dungeon by the end of the year. So that is what Dungeon 23 is. That's what we're working on. Definitely talked about this in the last episode I did this past Wednesday, where we kind of did the first 4 rooms. And that was where I was talking about how I came up to my ideas and the different things that I was employing. So we're going to continue with that. And like I said, this is hopefully going to be a year-long weekly episode that we're doing here on Monday nights. This is like this is like the only night that I have this opportunity to stream on a more regular basis. So I'm looking forward to doing this. It's very hard to see, and I'm going to have to make it a little bit more legible. But right here on the back wall, as hopefully you can see, we have our Dungeon 23 calendar back there as we are going through marking off the days. Unfortunately, it is not right, and I just realized that. Give me 1 second to to fix that, because I just noticed. Hey, I thought I updated that. Oh man, technical difficulties and all. Gotta love that. Oh, that is hitting me in the soul. Oh, I see why. I see what the issue is. All right. Yeah, there we go. And there we go. All set. Now it's a little bit easier to see. I might have to lighten it up a bit, or make those marks in chalk instead of in blood next time. So might change the next time you see it. What's not going to change, though, on this stream for any foreseeable future is the banner up there by the DM. So we are still in a very tumultuous situation with Wizards of the Coast. As a community, we don't know what fully their intentions are. As I talked about in not only yesterday's stream of P5, but also last Wednesday, there is a very restrictive new OGL that Wizards of the Coast is looking to implement in their new edition of D&D. It hurts small content creators, it hurts big content creators, and it hurts the community at large. So until that's resolved, that is going to be up there by the DM. The DM is uttering it. So just remember, this is our community. D&D is ours. Wizards of the Coast can try and monetize it as much as they want. They cannot take it away from us. This is still ours to enjoy. We might have to move to other systems, but the bottom line is I at least will not financially be supporting Wizards of the Coast if they move forward with this new OGL 1.1. So being that the case, that would mean discontinuing my subscription to D&D Beyond, as also not purchasing any new books that they put out. So I'm also going to be hesitant on doing a lot of their 1D&D stuff that they're doing the surveys. So hopefully Wizards get their head out of their asses, understands that what they're doing is basically shooting themselves in not only the foot, but the ass, the hips, the chest, and the head, and understand that this is the community that built this hobby. We are the ones that create it and support it. Yes, Wizards put out the structure, they put out the framework and the skeleton, but we are the meat, we are the heart, we are the soul of this community. So continue on with that. Use the hashtag OpenD&D in any kind of social media posts. Tag Wizards, tag Hasbro, let them know that, you know, we're not going to stand for this corrupt stance that they are trying to make. You know, also, I'm going to put the link here in the chat. There is a website that you can go to. It is OpenD&D.games. Go to that website. It has a lot of the information on what is going on with this, and there's a button in the top right corner that you can click to sign the letter. You can put your name in there, your email, if you represent a company. Right now, we are sitting at 15,000 signatures on there. I want to see that go up so much, because this needs to be something that Wizards of the Coast sees. This is something that they need to acknowledge, that their community is angry at their decisions and they need to be held accountable, you know. But one thing that I do want to explicitly make clear, right now, obviously we are all very upset with the proposed OGL 1.1. That's kind of the thing. It is still proposed. Wizards of the Coast has not made any official statements. We have not gotten any official statements from Hasbro. At this point, everything is allegedly. It's all circumstance. These are leaks. These are founded in good, honest understanding of, you know, people who have seen these that were approached by Wizards. But until Wizards actually says something, it is all speculation. So I will put at the end of this, allegedly, in order to protect myself. So what are we, let's move on from that. Let's move on to the good vibes for tonight. We got some chill lo-fi to enjoy, and we have a dungeon to make and continue on from. So for those of you that were not here last week, I worked on 4 rooms of what I am calling Cal Endyr's Mega Dungeon. It is my take on Dungeon 23. I added a bit of an introduction to the dungeon in order to give it a little bit more substance. So we'll put this up. So this is actually the website that you can go to in order to get a lot of the resources for Dungeon 23. If you want that, I'm going to put that up there in the chat. It's dungeon23.card with 2 R's .co. You can click this button that says awesome lists of resources, and from here, I don't know why that's zoomed in so far, you can get a lot of the resources that are available in here to do your Dungeon 23. Folks will still play. Yes, that is very true. You know, we do still need encounters. We still need dungeons, you know, whether we're playing D&D, Pathfinder, Prol, Morkborg, you know, whatever we decide to play. And the reality is, you know what, and you know what, before I jump into this, and I will say this in regards to this, D&D 5th edition is ours. We can keep playing it. We don't have to, you know, that is still the edition that we can play. We don't have to play into their new game. And you know what? I honestly say, let's challenge them. Let's call their bluff. You know, they want to see if we will budge. Let's not, you know, let's hold strong. Let's hold them to it. Honestly, that's my opinion on it all. But unfortunately, I'm not the kind of guy that has the power or influence to make that happen. And honestly, I would kind of hope that maybe eventually if it does come to that point, we could all rally together, get a Kickstarter together to cover some legal fees in order to help us fight this good fight. But again, jumping back to Dungeon 23, there's this great website if you want some resources to get writing prompts, how to build dungeons, how to set up encounters, how to populate a dungeon, different things that you may need, different ways that you can actually alter the I love this, different ways that you can alter the Dungeon 23. One of the folks in my Discord, he plays in one of my Sunday games, him and another one, the Stacy and Steve, who play Iluna and Cephas respectively in the P5 group, their takes on Dungeon 23 is definitely different from mine. Steve's is very much more encounter based, it's very descriptive, there's a lot of stuff to it, and it's kind of ingrained into the more encounters. Stacy's has a lot of descriptions to it and is very much focusing on hyper specific stuff from the couple rooms that she posted. So I'm very much enjoying this. It's everyone's interpretation of this is valid. Everyone's interpretation of this is exactly what this challenge needs to be. So but we'll move on to mine. So as we talked about last time, I started out with 4 rooms, because that was what I did. I had time to put up 4 rooms at one point, and then I had to keep going. I did my last episode on Wednesday. So to give you a quick recap on that, and I guess I should also say up here, this is kind of like my little blurb explaining the dungeon. Built by the mad chronourgist Cal Endyr as a testament to his power and will, he formed his mighty mega dungeon into the body of a grand mountain. He deemed no one worthy of his greatest treasure, which he buried deep within the depths of the treacherous tower. Adventurers now dare to journey into the reaches of the dungeon to see what grand treasures await. Small towns and communities have built up around the mountain over the years, and while no one has ever claimed the final prize, many have tried. Will you be the first? So, 12 floors, 52 sectors. I've decided to call them sectors. I may change that. But it's basically every week is its own sector. So, and that is where I'm pulling my themes. So, floor 1 had the first sector where we had stars. And that again was pulled from changed my window here. That was pulled from this list, so it was right down here, number 45, stars. I decided to go with that, something based on constellations. So the first room here was a set of stairs leading upwards into a small room containing 4 stone benches and 2 statues flanking a door. These statues are of hooded priests whose faces are black obsidian dotted with fine gems to resemble stars. Now I did change that a little. Some of my stuff I actually am kind of changing along the way, things where I'm realizing I need to edit stuff, and I honestly one of the reasons why you might notice that the main layout of the dungeon is not there anymore is because I've taken to building my rooms first and then building the dungeon up around that once I actually have the rooms. So that's what we're going to do tonight, is we're actually going to build the first sector, and I now have a little bit more of a structure in mind of how I want things to kind of go through the dungeon. And hopefully that'll carry us through the year. So as we talked about last week, our second room, Orion and Canis Major, all of mine are based on constellations. So a large room filled with magical plants and foliage. A hunter and wolf hide within the dense green, waiting to ambush unsuspecting prey. The plants in the room smell of wondrous scents that can cause paralysis if touched or inhaled for long periods of time. Room 3, Aquarius, a hexagonal room with niches on 3 walls. A statue of an old man carrying a water pitcher stands in the center of the room. Within each niche sits a jug of various sizes with numbers on them. The largest with an 8, one with a 5, and the smallest with a 3. On the wall behind each jug is another number, 0 behind the 3, and 4 behind 5 and 8. As the players enter the room, water begins to flow from the old man's pitcher, slowly filling the room over a number of rounds. When this happens, the 8 pitcher fills to the top, and the goal is to fill each jug with an amount of water corresponding to the number on the back of the wall. This is a very classic puzzle, and we will, I have details off to the right in my comments on this document about, different things that I might tell the players. The last one that we worked on last week was the constellations of, I believe it's actually pronounced Boutes, but we're going to call him Boots. He is the herdsman. So we have Boots, Canis Venacti, I couldn't spell it, I couldn't pronounce this last time, Venatasi, and Ursa Major. So a wide room with no other door other than the one used to enter, which, yeah, you can see my description's already off from that. Fur and bundles of wool lay strewn across the floor. 3 paintings lay amidst the sheets of fabric. One of a spear-wielding herdsman, one of 2 dogs, and one of a bear. Upon the widest wall sit 3 nails from which the paintings can be hung. The first time the paintings are placed in the incorrect order, the herdsman will step from the painting and attack the closest player. The second time, the dogs will emerge and attack the 2 closest, and the third time, the bear will emerge. Finally, if the paintings are put in the wrong orientation, for 4 times, all 3 will emerge and fight to the death. Upon placing the paintings in the correct order, the 3 will merge, creating one contiguous image. They will then animate, run off into the world of the painting, and once they are gone, the edges of the painting will set into the wall and form a large door. So that was what we worked on last week, and now we're going to get on to what we worked on this week, room 1-5. So I decided to go with the Phoenix, because the idea that I had for this one, and you'll see that I kind of stick more to this structure when we get into the first 2 rooms of this week, is I had the idea of an altar sitting in a room of like finery, like pillows and blankets. So an altar with a brass brazier atop it, surrounded by beautiful pillows and magnificent blankets of red, purple, and gold fabric. The brazier is adorned with rubies, amethysts, and topazes, and is filled with fine ash. Laying next to the brazier is a single purple feather that seems to glint magically when held near a light or flame. No interaction with the feather or brazier will elicit a reaction, as 2 more feathers must be located deeper within the dungeon. Collecting the 3 feathers and burning them within the brazier will call forth the Phoenix that can aid the party further into the dungeon. Now, I have a note over here about what the Phoenix can do for the players. I have it that I believe is in one of the Final Fantasy games. If you got the Phoenix feather, you could use that to revive a downed player. I kind of had that thought where if you are able to conjure the Phoenix and somebody is to die in the dungeon, you can go to the Phoenix, you can call out to the Phoenix, and they can revive that player. When that happens, the Phoenix obviously would burst back into ash. The ash would need to be placed back into the brazier, and then from there, the 3 feathers would appear randomly in the dungeon. So that was my idea for that room. Like I said, kind of an altar in the center, a brass brazier sitting on top, and then blankets kind of surrounding it. Room 6. So January 6th, the compass, the sextant, and the telescope. Now, if you're unaware, the sextant is a triangular device. Pull up an image of it. It's almost like instantly recognizable once you see it, but this is a sextant. So this is actually used to measure distance back in maritime. You would align it with the sun. You could tell distance with this. I had a D&D character that I once played who would use a sextant in the midst of combat in order to measure out distances, so that he could always know how far away something was. And then the telescope. When I was looking into constellations, I enjoyed so much that the idea of constellations being based off of navigation equipment, for one, I think a lot of people, when they think of constellations, they think of the zodiac symbols, they think of animals, and they think of like Orion and, you know, Ursa Major. They may think of, you know, like other more like Draco and stuff like that, but it's not in a lot that I feel most people think of, oh, the constellation of the compass, which there's actually two of them. There is one that is like the magnetic compass to find north. There's also the compass of, if you want to draw a perfect circle, there is a constellation on that. And it's fascinating to me that that's the reality of it, because those are the tools that allowed navigators in years past to actually survive. And, you know, they needed those tools. Those were their tools of the trade. And so it makes sense that they would see those in the stars as they traveled. And I love that that is the case. So with this, I actually wanted to have a room where there was some equipment. In this first floor, I don't have like magic items or anything like that other than the Phoenix Feather. But I really wanted this first floor to really be more of a mundane level. You know, it would be kind of picked over very easily if there was magic items on this first floor. So with this one, I wanted it to be very simple, but things that could come in handy later on. A compass would be great for a player to keep track of magnetic north, to make sure if you guys are going, if players are going through a dungeon, I mean, not a dungeon, but like a maze within one of the floors, maybe in there you are using that to make sure that you're going, you know, in the right path. Maybe use a sextant to measure out a distance before you attempt something where you only have so much movement to do, or a telescope in case you need to look at something far away that might be in a long corridor in one of the rooms. So with that, I had a door decorates the far wall bearing the symbol of a large skull with horns. Now, I am changing that. And actually, one thing that I'm going to go through here and alter, I'm going to remove references to doors unless I specifically want to have something like room 4 where there is no other door. Because I realized I actually took some time to plan a little bit of these dungeons ahead of time to think about the structure that I wanted, and then I realized the map that I was doing the last time felt very confined and very restricted. It did not feel like there was enough freedom if I wanted to just throw roaming monsters into hallways, and I kind of wanted to explore with that a little bit more, and I wanted to expand on that. So I do at least have some idea of how I want to do the structure of the first floor already, and how I want the general layout, but we'll get to that. So, and then finally, the last room down here, the constellations, it's a couple of Chariot, I believe that is Cepheus, Andromeda, Cassiopeia, and Taurus. So a large circular room designed to resemble an open arena sitting beneath a star-filled night sky. Magical cheers erupt from all around as the players stand before a grand set of steps. In the center of the arena is a trap door set into the dirt. A chariot wheels around the arena, leaving a trail of fire behind it. After a pass, the chariot retreats into a tunnel on the far side of the arena. From above the tunnel, standing in a decorated booth, a crowned figure rises and proclaims that those who wish to proceed further into the depths of the dungeon must best his mightiest beast. With this, a large horned bull storms from the tunnel, kicking up a cloud of dust around it, standing atop the trap door. Upon defeating the bull, the two women seated next to the crowned figure will begin casting a spell which will turn the bull into a gorgon. Now, when this was brought up, I was talking to a couple players from my library group that whenever I brought this up, what's up, Jay? I mentioned the Gorgon, and they thought of the Medusa, which makes total sense. But the thing is that the D&D Gorgon is actually carries all the way back to, I believe, first edition, which is of an iron bull that has a petrifying gaze. So when I was planning this out, I kind of knew I wanted Taurus to be the final constellation. I wanted it to be the last boss. And so, did I spell Taurus wrong? I did. There's an extra U in there. I knew that I wanted to have Taurus to be the last one, and then I realized very quickly I could have it be a Gorgon after the fact. Now, my mind plays this out where when the two on the side, so obviously the crowned figure would be Cepheus. So Cepheus is the king, that's his constellation. Andromeda is the I believe she is the seated woman. I have to Google that one. Yes. The daughter. Oh, sorry. So, she is the chained maiden. I apologize. Andromeda is the chained maiden. Cassiopeia is the queen. So, those two are casting a spell that what they're actually doing is they are taking the metal from Chariot. And I kind of envisioned as the players are standing there, they may have just defeated this raging bull. All of a sudden, these two women begin casting this spell, and metal flies out from this tunnel and starts attaching to the bull. And even though the bull may be dead underneath, the metal plating revitalizes it or animates it even, turning it into a Gorgon. And then the battle continues. After defeating the Gorgon, the crowned figure will congratulate the players and grant them a key to open the trap door, allowing them access to the next sector of the dungeon. So that kind of encapsulates what I want the rest of this dungeon to be. So with that, now that we have that, I'm gonna go ahead. Actually, you know, let's just go over what my next two rooms are, and then we'll start making the maps for the other ones, because you know they're down here. So the second sector of this is going to be cold. I actually have a plan for the first floor in general of what each sector is going to be themed around. So the first one is stars, the second one is cold. I actually have the other two in mind already. But this one, instead of each room having a permanent illusion magic giving the illusion or the look of a open night sky, with this one, it is that every room in the sector holds a temperature of negative 50 degrees. This is going to trigger the extreme cold hazard, which is that every time somebody enters a room, and for every hour on this particular sector, a constitution save must be made in order to stave off exhaustion. Now with this, I am going to use the new exhaustion rolls where it's like a -1 penalty to your rolls. So there is a little bit of leeway with that, but the idea is trying to get through this room as quickly as possible. But I plan on making each one of the rooms something where there's an element that may hold you up. So the first room that I did yesterday for this sector, and this is kind of the format that I've been writing my my prompts in. I actually bought a book. I thought this book was going to be a lot smaller, but I actually bought a book that is pretty hefty, considering everything. But this book I have been writing in each day, just that simple line, and using that then to kind of build off from it. So with this first one, it was a frozen chest in an icy cavern. So leading off, because I knew I wanted to lead off from that trap door, I knew that it was going to be some spiral staircase or a set of steps, or even a ladder. that was leading into this large cavern. But what it is a large cavern filled with a large icy cavern filled with frozen outcroppings. A chest sits in the center of the chamber, encased in thick ice. Players will need to spend at least 30 minutes breaking the ice, or they can shorten the time to 15 minutes if they utilize fire-based equipment or spells. So the thing is that there are 3 identical chests within the icy sector, 2 of which are normal and have level appropriate loot. The third is a frost mimic. Now you might be asking yourself, what's a meteor storm? Yeah, meteor storm. That's a hell of a spell to throw in this level. Wait a second. Huh. That's actually something that didn't cross my mind. How would something like Meteor Swarm work in this? Yeah, you know what? That would be terrifying. Holy crap. That would be hilarious to think about. Somebody deep down inside the dungeon casting Meteor Swarm, and all of a sudden just the mountain is like pelted and pummeled with giant meteors. Everyone outside is freaking out and, you know, going crazy. Oh man, that's a terrifying spell to think about. But that is a 9th level spell. You'd be pretty far into the dungeon before you even got access to that. And then the one that I did today, so I had the idea of a thin bridge of ice across a bottomless pit. So this is kind of the idea of wanting to hold up the players a bit. So my idea here was to have some kind of long expanse, probably about 60 feet, that is on the other side is a lever that is encased in ice. Now, what that lever does right now, I do not know. I don't know if it's gonna unlock, like, it's the thing you have to get for the for the boss room on this floor, on this sector, or if it's, you know, something to allow you to get back at some point. I don't know what this is for. That'll be something we'll figure out later. But a thin bridge of ice connecting these 2 platforms, and the bridge is able to support no more than 150 pounds at any given time. So the flying carpet and also flight is specifically why I put in here a strong wind blows in multiple directions across the bridge. The idea with that was to be able to have it so that if somebody is attempting to cross using flight, they're going to have to make strength saving throws, because from this bottomless pit there are currents of air that are coming up and kind of like wrapping over this, or possibly like blowing back out. So there is going to be that hazard. I plenty thought about the characters that would be flying. So yeah, that's my 2 rooms for this particular week. Hold on to the carpet. So I am going to be making those today, because I do plan on, I don't know. So I have thought about doing, like, I'm going to be doing these streams on Monday nights. So I'm always going to have the week prior. So I think what I'm going to do the 2 rooms that I have this week. And then starting next week, we're going to do rooms, 10 through, I can't do calendar in my head. And for some reason, my calendar on my computer is acting up. But we would do, next week, we're going to do rooms 10 through 14. So that's going to be a sizable chunk. And then on the following week, you know, whenever we are on the 23rd, then I'm going to do a full week's worth. So I think we'll get into that, you know, just kind of stumbling through these first couple episodes, considering I started doing the stream last Wednesday and continued on from there. So first things first, we need to make the last 3 rooms of Sector 1. Now I am going to move this over here, and we're going to do floor 1. So I think let's copy this, put that right there, and this will be Sector 1. So we have rooms 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, all right, so room 5, I was honestly thinking of like something a little bit more sizable. So I got to bring back the UI. There we go. So for those of you that don't know out there watching, this is Dungeon Scrawl. It's a wonderful app that is absolutely free to use. I did pay in order to get some of the added features, being able to export the files, additionally being able to save multiple maps. I believe, or no, it was like dark mode, it was something else that I wanted, but I did pay for the subscription to it. I felt that it was, you know, worth it to support a content creator like this, especially right now with the climate we are in. So something I was experimenting with that we will see a little bit later, right down here in the bottom, there is a rough button on and off. So normally when we make a room, so let's make the Phoenix room 7 by 7. So whenever I let that go, it just kind of pops into place, and makes all the rooms fairly square. Now, there is actually a button right here that says roughness. You can turn that off and it makes every wall uniform. I actually don't like that. I kind of like the slightly rougher look to them, and you can make them a little bit more rougher. But I like the first one. It adds more character, in my opinion. And it also makes it look as if it was scrawled. It looks like if it was actually drawn on there because of the different line thicknesses. Now this rough button down here, this is going to be really good when we get to the icy sector of the dungeon, because when you do this, we'll make a 5 by 5. It gives you this little line, and as we pull away, the further we get from it, the rougher it gets. So it does recognize the distance, but it's also every single pixel you move, it does a different equation. And like I said, we can get really far away and get super crazy looking, you know, caverns almost. There is a little bit of overlap in some of these parts. So if you are doing something like this, you kind of got to go in and, blank that stuff out in order to get some semblance of a look. But honestly, if you want something where it's almost as if like an explosion went off, or you want like something real kind of crazy, it's a really good way to do that. And I was having a lot of fun experimenting with that, because to me, that's just, just makes it so cool. So we're going to turn rough off. I'm going to erase this. There we go. All right, so this is Phoenix. So I know I have the altar token. Let's go ahead and put that in the middle. Do I want it? You know what? Let's do it this way. There we go. Does look like a natural. Yeah, that's it. It's that a tool. And the thing is, you can also do the polygon. So if you wanted more of like a larger, more obtuse kind of room, we could do something like this, and then pull it out real far, and then from there go in and kind of just chunk out your own bits and pieces. Well, no, that's the wrong tool. Sorry. There you go. And then the nice thing is even stuff like this, you know, you can actually just leave that in there because it creates like a standing stalagmite. So I really love this car. I really love this tool. It has been so much fun to play with. Yeah, you can also erase like that, which actually comes in handy if you wanted to do something where you created a room but then want to have, you know, a sector kind of blocked in. You can actually continue to get those shapes in there. This way you can create like a you know, like a bend in a tunnel with natural looking edges. Let's turn that rough off. There we go. All right, so with this said, I want pillows and blankets. I did take a look through here. I think they're towards the bottom. That is called, I'm gonna put it here in the chat. There you go, Steve. app.dungeonscrawl.com. It's free. There are some premium benefits that you can get with it if you pay. I think it's like $6 a month. So I figured, you know, at least maybe for a year I can you know, support them, utilize this, and hey, maybe I get a little better at making maps along the way. Here we go. Yeah, these are the rugs I kind of had a thought of, because the 2x2 ones work for more like rug-esque looking things. I'm gonna move that for now. Because each one of these smaller ones can actually look like a pillow. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make some rugs in here. We'll turn like that. Yeah, so it is a monthly subscription. It's not like Dungeon Draft where you're paying, you know, just like a one-time fee. So it is a monthly subscription, which, hey, that has its pros and cons. But the way that I look at it is, you know, if it's a tool that I'm planning on using for, you know, at least the foreseeable future. Oh, what did I just do there? You know, for at least the foreseeable future, while this project is going on, I'm all for giving it the support that it deserves. So turn those. So let's. You can only turn a square so many ways. Actually, you know what? Let's turn snap off, and then I can rotate it as I wish. There we go. That's much better. Actually bring that one to the front. And then we'll add a couple of these pillows. I really like these little rugs that kind of look like pillows. And these look like little square pillows. All right. Then we'll enable snap again, throw that altar in the center, and there we go. We have room 1-5. All right, so room 6, this was the small room. So I'm thinking maybe like 4x4. Possibly. Let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. So we're just gonna add some barrels in there, some crates. So we got some good ones here. Turn snap back off. I always love layering them like that. And then because this is a room that's going to have the navigation tools, I'm going to put this little bookcase over on this wall. You know what? Maybe I'll put it on the south, so at least it's not interfering with a shadow. We're going to move that right there. All right, anyone out there who's watching, listen to this song that's playing. I don't know if I need to turn it up or not. I don't know how loud it is. This song very much reminds me of the Knuckles levels from Sonic. Hold on. Tell me this doesn't sound like the Knuckles levels from like Sonic Adventure 2, where you're like running around. Turn it up. All right. That's exactly what this sounds like to me. Just a straight up Knuckles level where I'm going around getting the pieces of the Chaos Emerald. That's all I'm hearing with this. That's a big ass compass rose. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, that might just be me, but that is 100% what it sounds like, at least to me. Oh, I'm back. All right, so yeah, we're gonna do this table down here instead of doing the bookshelves. We'll say that there's, I wonder if, oh, you know what, I can actually do a chair. A chair kind of looks like an opened box on here, so we'll do that. We'll say that we'll say that there's a box here that kind of looks like one of these opened ones. Hold on, I gotta find that. I don't care if my video, no, you know what? No, the last time I played copyrighted music, they muted my video. I'm not gonna do that. Tell you what, that's actually one reason why I really love Pretzel Rocks. If you are looking to stream and you want some ad-free music, or not ad-free music, but YouTube and Twitch safe music, there's a feature that you can turn on there that plays safe music for your streams. That's why I use it. All right, so there we go. We got room 16. So there we go. And now we're gonna do our big room. Now, I will admit, I pre-designed this particular room on another day. And there's a very specific reason for that. And that is because I had a very particular design in mind when I wanted this. And I didn't know if it was possible to actually make on Dungeon Scrawl. So I actually have it. I saved a picture. It's on one of my other monitors. So I'm gonna try and get as close to that one as possible. I actually just have to count out some squares real quick. It is 10. Okay. So it's a biggin. Because like I said, I very much wanted this to be a big arena. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna do the wall tool, And I believe with this, I actually had to put this on like 8 in order to snap it in the right spots. Because it is supposed to line up with this, but I think there was a way that I was actually able to do this properly. Nope. All right, let's change that back to 4. I want to say that it's there. Yeah, I believe it is. Yeah, I think it's halfway on this line down to there. Come on. And that's kind of the same thing on all of them. This one was actually a little bit different because it's from here and over. So no, this one was wrong. I just actually did this one wrong. Nope. Come on, erase. Fuck. Oh shit, wait, no, I did that wrong. Yeah, I need to put that back. Wait, what? Hold on. I didn't even think about that. Huh. Okay, now if I do this... Well, it's not exactly what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. Holy crap. Man, that was a lot easier. The last time I did this, I was like sitting there prepping out like every single line, being super precise. Oh man, that was so much easier. Sweet, let's jump back to halves. We're gonna go down here, and we want this to kind of extend back a little. Let's shorten that up a bit. Is that? Yeah, that's fine. And I definitely want walls there and here, because this is a set of steps leading down into there. So there's that. And then I was able to get a really cool effect. I think I have to put this back to 4. So do that there and there. And by doing this, we get a really cool kind of stadium seating effect for the arena. I was really happy to figure this one out because I was trying to figure out how I was gonna do, like, make it look like an arena, like an old gladiator arena, like a coliseum, and I was super excited to get that to work. We're gonna do that to there. There we go. Yeah, is that? Yeah, that's basically the same thing. And then here to there. Wait a second. Let's go. And the last one. There we are. I got some really nice stadium seating. I I know there's the alcove, which is what I was going to use for the tunnel that Chariot comes out of and that the Taurus comes out of. So that's going to be right over here. And I need to... there's another piece. Yeah, I think I did a coffin. Did I do a coffin? I did something that was... I never did... Oh no, there's actually just a black square. Here we go. Oh wait, no, did I not do that? Oh no, that's right. That's just what I did. Yeah. There we go. So I think one of the things I can do is just putting this behind it to give it yeah, to kind of give it that faded look. I think there was something better. It was some kind of, yeah, something like this almost. It was gray. Is it the bed? No. You know what? I'm not really worried about it. But I do need... I did kind of hesitate on like what the... like where the gods were going to be sitting, like where the... or the... not the gods, but the king. Ooh, this rug's actually... I didn't realize there was a rug in there like that. That's actually pretty decent. All right, yeah. I'm not upset with that at all. And that'll actually let me throw in another set of stairs right there and right there. That's to there, to there. There we go. That's fine. So yeah, there we go. We have the... oh wait, I'm forgetting one thing. Hatch door. Hatch door in the dead center. So we need to turn off quarters. That's starting to really bug me. So there we go. That's the hatch that leads down in. So now that we have all of this, let's go. Well, actually, let's go ahead and name this particular room. Come on. Oh, I'm on the wrong tool. Go. Perfect. So now we're actually going to go through and build the first sector. So I am still going to kind of build it up here in the top. I am actually thinking I might move it eventually to another map. I can have, you know, 2 available maps. This one could be the dungeon at large, where this one can be the rooms themselves. But in order for me to do this, I actually need to go through and adjust a couple things that are in the descriptions. For example, I want to remove any references to doors except for the first one. The first one obviously is going to have the door you enter and the door you first step into. That one is perfectly fine. But for example, I had originally listed that room 6 had 2 doors and a big door. I'm going to change that. So this is going to be a room with a stack of old musty boxes and crates sitting in the corner. Various navigations tool lie on a table strewn from an open container, such as compasses, sextants, and telescopes. And then we are going to have this be, because I thought this one out a little bit more. Within one of the crates is a large key. Is a large key designed to resemble a skull with horns. You know what? We're gonna designed to resemble. No, we're a large key resembling a skull with horns. Now, this actually came to me as I was kind of like prepping to do this stream, the idea of how I wanted this to be done. And what I came across was I wanted essentially a Zelda boss key. You know, kind of has it has the horns. It's kind of monstrous looking. And I love this idea of this being the key that allows you to fight Taurus. And so I moved the door that leads to the arena from room 6, because in my mind it was doing this very linearly. I'm actually moving it all the way back to room 2. So this door is actually now going to be a double door, and it is going to have the design of the bull on it, but no magical intervention can actually get that door to open. So with that in mind, it's kind of how I was envisioning how I wanted the hallways that move through here to work, and some of the stuff that I wanted to connect with each one. So for example, what we're going to do is we're going to build this as I kind of speak through how I was thinking of this. And this is a lovely tool. If you do use Dungeon Scroll, down here, this select tool, it's right next to the door tool. If you build a room, you can select around it. Once it's selected, double click. You can hit Control C to copy it, and then you can paste that anywhere else, and it'll paste the exact room size that you're working with. And then you just simply swap over to the object tool, highlight everything that you put in there, hit Control V or Control C, Control V, and move it up there. The other nice thing is you can also hit G, and now you can move it as a whole group. And it does follow the placement mapping. So as you can see right there, like, you know, not everything's lining up, and that's actually because I built this original one on a half scale. So what we have to do is we're gonna put this right there. Come on. We're gonna put that right there, and then we're gonna grab this, switch it to erase. We're gonna erase half of that, and we're gonna add a little half, and there we go. There's our first room, because I wanted that extra space on the side. I wanted it to be a 5x5 room. Unfortunately, I didn't like how the pews kind of hung out over the edge, or the benches. So what we did was we just made it a little bit wider, and it worked for us. Now, originally, I did have a small little kind of like landing platform out here where there was a set of steps. I definitely want to maintain that, so that is 100% coming back into this. So we're gonna, nope, not that, polygon tool. Go. So we're gonna, there we go. You know what, let's make it a little bit wider. And I, as a dummy, forgot to Nope. Yeah. Hold on. There we go. Just do it right the first time. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to take the steps. I'm going to put that, nope, across there. There we go. And we have our steps leading up to this place. Now, in my mind, like I said, this is built on top of a mountain. That's actually why I have this picture on there, because I really loved that image of somebody walking up this grand staircase up to the very top of a mountain. And one of the reasons why I was really inspired to do it this way is because that first sector of rooms is stars, so it's the closest one to the heavens. And you'll actually see the theme for the first floor. The first floor kind of has a lot of ties to the heavens. You know, there are stars in space. It is cold in space. That is going to have some of these ties in with floor 1. Okay. So the last time that I did this, you may remember that I kind of just like attached the Orion room onto this one. This is actually where I changed a lot of the design, because I wanted to have the ability to maneuver around hallways. So I thought of actually making it something where it kind of resembles the bull a little bit. And the idea that I came up with was, yeah, something like this. And then 9, 8, I don't know. We'll do 8. Or wait, how big? Wait, actually, come to think of it, we're gonna have this top part be the first room. So actually, let's measure it out based off of this. So let's grab that, copy and paste. Let's make sure that is that even there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait, how big is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, so that is centered. So we're gonna throw a door here. This is gonna be the big double door on the back. So I want the doors, I do want multiple entrances into this room. That was actually another thing that I thought of, because my mind is having almost the map kind of have like bull horns. And you'll see what I mean whenever I draft this out, because I drew some of this on some graph paper. We're gonna do, nope, not that. Come up and here, and then kind of the same thing over here. Oh, there we go. And so it kind of has this, like, it almost has these like bull horns around the side is what I thought. You may not see the same thing I do, and that's fine. That's like I said, how I saw it. Another reason why I wanted to do it this way, I want to be able to have roving monsters that kind of like march through these hallways that maybe find their way in, because something that I really want to incorporate later on in the dungeon is the idea of there being hidden secret ways into the dungeon that maybe the players find and are able to exploit. So if maybe the players find their way out of one of the levels or one of the floors, maybe they're able to head back up to the top without having to fight through every floor again. But it also means that monsters can enter into this. So okay, so let's go ahead. We'll do room 3 next. So we're gonna grab that, and probably do it somewhere around here. I don't think it has to be anywhere specific. I guess we can line up that corner. Yeah, that works, because kind of lines up the almost like from the top here. So yeah, that's fine. Fuck. You know what? The OCD in me isn't gonna let me not just put it in the middle of this hallway. So let's give it a little bit of space. We'll do it there. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Okay, so let's grab. Oh wait, we gotta do the objects for room 2. We're gonna group that. Nope, wrong button. G for group, copy and paste. Go. Not gonna lie, did not know that group tool was a thing. I don't think I've ever seen that pop up before. So that was we definitely learned that one together. There we go. Well, you know what? I guess. Yeah, it does and it doesn't work, because I guess I do want to take some things out. So at least with this, I'm gonna delete that. Because one of the big ideas that I had, I want the Phoenix room to branch off from Boots, from the hunting dogs and stuff like that, because I wanted to have each of the rooms that don't have an immediate danger to be branched off from rooms that did, so this way you would get to them through that victory. I wanted these two to be connected because I want Aquarius to be tied to the sextant, the compass, and that, because of the seafarers who would have followed Aquarius's symbols. So let's go ahead and do room 6 real quick. Nope. Something similar to, yeah, the grouping in Dungeon Draft works very similar. I just didn't realize that was a thing in here. So I actually really like that that's a thing. We're going to put this right there, because I kind of like that there's a bit of a nook here. I don't want it touching. I don't want it that far down. We're gonna put that right there, and then we're gonna do a small hallway that comes up from there. And goes over. And we'll add a door. And then that's where we're gonna have this stuff. And now, see, this is the main reason why I actually decided not to put doors on stuff. I keep doing that. I keep thinking it's gonna paste right where I'm putting it. It's why I decided not to list where doors were, because I want the freedom to choose where these rooms are gonna be. I want the ability to have those branching, hallways and stuff. Okay, so next up is the paintings room. So we'll put that. It's gonna go somewhere over here. I think I just kind of have to let my OCD ride with this one. So wait, did I put that one two steps away? Yeah, I did. So we'll do that. But actually, should I do it 1? Because I actually want to have the room enter from the bottom. This is actually one of the only ones that the placement of the door actually matters, because with this one, this is the one where this is no other door, and there's all of this stuff on the right. I don't want the hallway to wrap so far around that the entrance is on the left. So this, I'm gonna do it again. There we go. So, and each one of those spikes just shows the nails, the hooks that are used to hold the paintings in there. Okay, now for the Phoenix room. Not gonna lie, I do kind of wish, and I might just be ignorant of it, I kind of wish that there was a tool to quickly, like, swap between tools. Like, I wish each one of these had a hotkey that I could jump to. I know that, like, over here on the select, like, S is snap, but I kind of wish I could hit, like, Control and S. Nope. Yeah, I wish I could hit, like, something, and then it would jump me to that so that I could, you know, get a little bit cleaner with it. All right, so this is the one where the paintings come together and form the door. So the door is gonna be, oh shit, G, move you up there, and then we'll fine tune it. So I'm kind of imagining the door being a little bit bigger. So we could do something like this. Maybe not that big. Sure. And then we'll have that. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's not bad. It's kind of split down the middle. And then, so once that opens up, there will be the door into the Phoenix room. So again, kind of the idea here is that each one of these is kind of like a reward in its own. You have to solve the jug puzzle in order to get to the seafaring navigation tools. You have to solve the puzzle of the paintings in order to get to the Phoenix room. And my idea with this was kind of like the beauty of paintings, you know, the telling of a story, and the Phoenix in itself, you know, kind of having that like everlasting story, you know, at least to try to tie it to something. All right, so down here, go ahead and grab the giant stadium, because that is going right schmack there. There we go. And onto all of this. Never gonna get used to that. There we go. So there we have it. I'll kind of break all these up. There we go. Oh, did that move? No, okay. Did it? Yes. Perfect. All right, so there we go. Now this is kind of the idea that I had, and it looks very similar. Calling it the ice cream cone, at least colloquially in my head. But this is sector 1 of floor 1 of the mega dungeon. Now, I was listening to a podcast, one of the ones I listened to, called Master the Dungeon. Let me look them up real quick. I think it's Master the Dungeon. No, not Master the Dungeon. Oh, fudge, what is it? I want to attribute this properly. Is it mastering the dungeon? Mastering dungeons. That is it. All right. Sorry about that. So Mastering Dungeons recently put out, I'm going to put a link to their YouTube channel. They recently did, they do like these very short, like 30, 45 minute podcasts. They're like their D&D news stuff. But they did one where they're talking about the OGL, and one of the guys on there very much gave me one of the craziest ideas. I believe his name is Teos, but his dungeon is actually built with this, like, it's actually from the bottom up, I believe. But every level that you go up, it's kind of like branched out, as every floor has like 4 sectors to it in a way. But you kind of like are given an incentive to go up and down it multiple times, in a sense. I want this one to have a build where once you get through the first floor is actually fairly easy to get through. Solving the puzzles, you know, they're not necessarily hard puzzles. The only one that's like extremely deadly is really the one where you drown. But once you are able to defeat, everything on this first floor and get through, what is going to happen is this trap door here opens up to a large column that goes down into the mountain. That's actually why I have the arena as big as it is, because this is kind of where the structure of the dungeon really lies. It lies beneath here. And so every sector and every floor branches up from that. So there's always going to be a starting circular area that kind of goes down, and the first ones are more just layered on top of one another. And once I get to floor 2 and I have a better understanding of how I want to do stuff, I might have a way to branch it out better. But as for right now, the main motif here in the center is there's going to be a spiral staircase under here that takes you down to the next sector, not the floor, not necessarily the next floor, but the next sector. And then from there, there is your path down is blocked, to the next sector. And so you have to kind of do the same thing. You have to get like a key or something that allows you to continue on. What that may be, I don't know yet. So we'll figure that out next week or through the next week. But that then takes us down here. So I'm gonna make a copy of this, of sector 1, bring that down here. I'm gonna call that sector 2, and this is going to be room 1-8. So there we go. There's room 1-8. So with this one, this is the one where I was starting to experiment a little bit with those rough edges. So I did have the idea of this one kind of being like a large icy cavern. So let's go ahead and start this one up. We're gonna say maybe make it 7x9, 8x9. 8x9 works. Then we want those rough edges. There we go. Actually, let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it a little bit rougher. What was that? 8x9? Yeah. There we are. Look at that. That's already looking so much better. Now I want that circle. So we're going to come down here. Maybe 3, maybe, yeah, 3 is fine. And then we'll have some kind of some kind of walkway. You know, actually, let's make this a little bit further away. So we'll stick to the 3. And we'll have this be a little bit thinner, you know, like a one-way walk down. Yeah, we'll make it a little bit bigger. Have it 2. There we go. Okay. And I know for a fact there is a spiral staircase icon in here. So there's that. So we'll place that in there. And then we're going to add some kind of steps. Guess could go down like that into this large chamber. Is there a chest icon in this first one? No, there's not. You know what? As much as I like these, I don't know how I feel about these dotted ones. Like, I don't mind them. I just don't necessarily know if they like fit the motif that I'm going for. I might have to use them at some point. They seem so weird to me. And then we have obviously, you know, all of 2-minute tabletops. But I think there was a chest. There we go. Yeah, we got a chest. All right, so this one is going to be the ice encased chest here in the center of the room. Now, the thing for me is that I'm actually not determining prior to running this whether or not this is or isn't the mimic. I want that to just be a thing when the players get to that point. So that'll be something fun. But I think, oh, that's cool. Grass blades. No, it's further, or is this the transparent one? That is transparent. You know what? I kind of like that. I kind of like that. You know what, though? If I actually ran this, I'd probably want to have that as like an icon on the map otherwise. So maybe we'll forego that for now. So there we go. We got room 1-8. And now the last room of the night, room 1-9. So with this one, a thin bridge of ice over a bottomless pit. Now, again, I kind of had the thought of making this one like a thinner room, like very narrow, but very long. So I've kind of already thought of it being like 3 by something. I don't want to go so far that it's like impossible. Because if I do that, I do 4 on one side, or 2 on one side, 2 on the other. The center would then be 16. 16 times 5 is 80 feet. That's going to require at least 2 movements. I don't hate that. You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 by 20. We're going to... I don't want this one to be so crazy. I want this... There we go. That looks good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the eraser tool. And we're going to put that there. Give this a little bit of a warble. Oh, wait. We need to go one more. That's good. And same here. Give it a nice wibble. And then we'll take the wall tool. And we're going to stretch that from there to there. And you can do rough on walls. I did find that out when I was kind of thinking of this. And like experimenting a little bit before going live. There we go. So now, when the players enter into here, so obviously, there is going to be a door on this side, or some kind of connecting cavern, because that's the other thing. Like, if these connect, it's obviously not a race. Hold on, wait, what is it? It's 20, right? 18. So if we do this, we can connect each room with like a rough hallway, because this one I don't want to have doors. I want to have the rough open caverns. Like I want the rushing wind of the sound from room 19 to kind of be overtaking everything. I want this particular sector to have very ominous, kind of chilling effect to the players. Now I need a lever though. So let's go ahead and look through what we have. Oh, wall lever. Is that... That'll work. Let's turn that upside down though. Hey, look at that. Make it a little bit bigger. That is perfect. Look at that little guy. So that is also encased in ice. So that's what we'll do. And you know what? Actually, hold on. We're gonna crank that up to 4. So we're gonna be cutting on quarters. We're gonna cut this down a little bit more. Nope, wrong way. There we go. Now that's dangerous. Well, maybe make it a little bit thicker in places. Yeah, there we go. I want this to be a place where you have to move slowly. So this is 80 feet long. If you dash, it's also ice. So if you dash across it, you are asking for trouble. And honestly, I don't know what is in this pit. I don't know if I want it to like lead just down into like, you know, however many feet down into this slope, or possibly, oh, hold on. Here's a cool idea. Let's make sure that this is not on erase. Let's grab the selection tool. And we're gonna copy and paste this. And we're gonna put that right down here. Actually, let's make that a little bit lower so it's not overlapping the hatching so much. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're going to open this up a bit. Kind of gonna do the opposite. So oh, that's why it's on 4s. I was like, why is that so weird? There we go. All right, so opening that up, and we're gonna erase this and this side. Wait, come on. Doesn't really matter. Let's just clear these away. So now this is the bottom pit. You know, however many feet down we decide, you know, we'll maybe say, I mean, it could be 30 feet down. That's going to be 3d6 points of bludgeoning damage. So I know there's a little arrow icon, so we're gonna grab that wherever that was. You know what? I'm just gonna be easier grabbing it here. So 30 feet down into yeah, let's choose the right font. So 30 feet down. So not only are you going to take a decent amount of bludgeoning damage. Actually, you know, let's crank that up. Fuck that. 60 feet. So you're going to take 6d6 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall. And then not only that, this is filled with ice, and maybe, just maybe, shoot, where was that? What was that source that I had for a really cool snowy monster that clung to the ceiling that looked like icicles? Here it is. Yeah. Wait, is this it? Yes, piercers. That's what they are, piercers. So let me see if I can pull that up. Yes. So, one of the cool, a very cool monster, these piercers. Sorry about that. These cool piercers, what they do is they cling to the ceiling and they look like stalactites. And their attack is that they drop down on top of you, and they hit you. So my idea is having underneath this bridge, there are frost piercers hung there. So when you fall down, these edges along the, you know, the top and bottom, they're kind of sloped inwards at a very steep angle, like it is funneling you down in, and then you are just pelted by these piercers. Now the thing is that most rope is 50 feet. So that means that the players are going to have to combine some rope, which means that you're going to have to hope that everybody's bringing at least some amount of rope with you, because 60 feet's not that big, or 60 feet's a lot bigger, or is 10 feet bigger, so you're going to need that space. But yeah, so there we go. That is rooms 8 and 9 of the cold sector. So a frozen chest and an icy cavern and a thin bridge across a bottomless pit. Bottomless. We'll throw some quotes in there. And then we'll put in here. The pit beneath. Did spell that wrong. The bridge is 60 feet down and clung to the bottom side of the bridge is a number of frost, or we'll say ice piercers. Am I gonna spell that right? There you go. There's a number of ice piercers that will attack upon prey landing in the pit. And maybe we'll even have, like, you know, some bones down in there for, you know, for effect. I'm not going to throw them in now, but, you know, kind of be the idea of, like, you get down there and there's just, like, some skeletons and stuff of people that have fallen in there and, you know, not been able to get out. I don't know. I kind of loving this idea of this particular room. So, and honestly, I mean, we could even have, like, you know, there's another room past here. and there's something else in there. Maybe this opens up the door here, and then the players have to get across, so they have to traverse it twice. Again, it's kind of why I really love... it's kind of why I wanted to not have doors on stuff prior to actually like building it out. So that is gonna be where we leave it for tonight. So we got through rooms 5 through 9, the Phoenix, the Compass, Sextant, and Telescope, Chariot, Cepheus, Andromeda, Cassiopeia, and Taurus, and finally into the Sector of Cold. First room, a frozen chest in an icy cavern, and a thin bridge of ice across a bottomless pit. So that is gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I save this. There we go. And yeah, so as always, I appreciate you folks hanging out. There's the calendar. We'll be meeting again here next week. But hopefully next week we have better news. Right now, D&D is facing some strife, so we can stick together. We can stay united as a community. And you know what? I do want to say that if there's one thing that I think a lot of the tabletop community, and I would say nerd communities in general, one thing that we're really good at is like dividing ourselves. You know, you play Pathfinder, or I only play D&D, or you play Pathfinder and D&D, like I only play Green Ronin, or again, Prol or Morkborg or something. You know, I play Call of Cthulhu. And I think right now the community is coming together as a whole in order to support one another. And we need to continue to do that. We need to continue to support one another, because right now it is paramount that we stay united. So again, push Wizards, push Hasbro, tweet at them. You can call them. There's actually a guy, I forget, it was somewhere in a tweet. He actually put the phone numbers for Wizards of the Coast headquarters on his Twitter account. So you can call them, you can send them mail. The only thing that I do want to say staunchly is do not, under any circumstances, ever threaten anyone from Wizards or Hasbro. Unfortunately, you know, I hate to say that has to be said, but I know in some cases that is a thing that a lot of people, you know, that's where they jump to. So make sure that you're doing everything appropriately. Share the hashtag OpenD&D. Go to OpenD&D.games in order to sign the letter. Need a flag waving behind you for that epic speech effect. Yeah, maybe I'll try and put one of those together. I'll get a GIF back there. You know, make sure that you are you know, make sure that you're, yes, like Stacey said, make sure you represent the community in a positive light. We don't want to give them a reason to not listen to us. We want to give them a reason to pay attention to us, to be smart about it. And again, it is something so heavily that we need to stay united for. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. We're starting this awesome journey on the right foot. And we're going to stick together through this. We're going to keep going for this year. And we're going to make this positive. We're going to turn this around, and we are going to do everything we can to make 2023 a positive year in D&D. So Follow the hashtag Dungeon23 for any updates on here. If you would like to keep up with the community, if you want to see my room descriptions daily, down below the Twitch stream, there's a Discord link, so you can follow that. I am putting the link to the Discord in the YouTube videos whenever I upload these, so follow that if you want to come chat with us in the community. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere. We're like ghosts. So yeah, come hang out with us, come chat, come talk about what we all love, D&D and video games. But for next time, or until next time, I should say, my name is Lucas. I'm your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, and I will see you guys next week here where we will continue to build Cal Endyr's Mega Dungeon. Have a good night. I will see you guys later.